could look me in the eye. It's all because of Jesus, he the reason I'm alive. I live by faith, by grace, you know that I ain't gotta strive. They told me, tone it down, I told them.
Yo, what up, guys? My name is Cornroll Wallace. This is Hot Boy Stash Box coming to you live, semi-live, from Tampa, Florida, the boat parade. Got a lot to go through. Jared, let's talk about this NHL Eastern Conference Final.
We're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Tampa Bay Lightning versus the New York Rangers. Agreed. They stink. Actually, they're pretty good.
They're kind of lit. Igor's kind of lit.
Igor is lit. That's what everybody's been talking about, is this is the Russian goalie battle and that there's going to be hardly any goals scored all period.
Like
or all
0-0 for 5 overtimes. I'm not staying up that late.
I'm not either, but I don't think that's how it's going to go, Ryan.
No, I don't either. But we're playing the Rangers. New York is tonight, actually, which this will probably not be tonight when you watch it, but tonight's game 1 of this series. It's in New York.
What is it, June 1st right now?
Today is June 1st. Welcome to the month of June.
June
here.
1st, 8 o'clock puck drop.
Parade.
We'll probably put this out at 8 o'clock on the dot. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We're playing in New York. New York has home ice.
Advantage, or some think it's an advantage, but being beaten in your hometown, smashed to the ground 2 times in a row. Look what it did to the Panthers.
The last time that we played the Rangers in the playoffs was in 2015.
Yeah, that was when it all began.
And we beat them.
And we did beat them, and they've been waiting for this opportunity since then.
Yes. So this is Tampa's 6th Eastern Conference Finals.
I got 6 rings.
Since 2015. That's pretty incredible.
That's ridiculous. That's 6 out of 8, right?
6. Math is not my strong suit. Yeah. Sure. We'll go with that. This season, the Lightning went 0-3 against the Rangers in the games that they played against the Rangers. You know what's even worse than that, Ryan?
What can be worse than that?
2 of those games, Vasi played, and 1 of those games, they were shut out 4-0.
Which is ridiculous. Because Vasi...
I watched the game. It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Vasi, but, he's the big cat in the playoffs is different than the medium cat in the regular season.
I agree. Like, we made a whole video about it. Playoff Vasi is an alien. And that's what happens. We turn it on in the playoffs as a whole team. We block pucks. What was it? Last series we had 77
shots blocked.
Stammer was out there blocking. There was an article that you sent me that was about Brandon Hagel. And he was saying, when the captain's out there putting his body on the line blocking shots, it really makes you want to get involved and do the same.
You read that article.
You said, hey, bro, read this. I did not read it. Is that what you did to me? Not read stuff?
It was such a good article, guys. It was so good to see this new guy come to the team and talk about he loves being a part of this team and he's learned a lot and loves to be a part of the dynamic. But here's another thing that's important. So far in the postseason, so in the playoffs for the Rangers, they've played against 2 backup goalies, and then 2 third-string goalies. So just as far as the goalies they've played against, they're not set up really well to be prepared offensively for what they're going to do against SLS.
They were playing against Domingue, not against Vasi.
Exactly right. Now Domingue was incredible though.
Cool story, but
cool story. And then they also played against one dude that had a busted foot.
The only starter that they played was hurt. Everybody else was either a backup or a third-string goalie that they played against in the playoffs. The Rangers have gone to 7 games in both series that they've done before.
Yeah.
So that's just something to think about. I want to go over the key players that the Rangers have, just because these are names that, as a Lightning fan, unless you're like a hockey fan, you probably don't know who we're playing against. I want to go over some names and who they are, so when you're watching, you can follow along. So obviously, we've already talked about it. Igor Shesterkin, he's their goalie. It was an incredible matchup whenever they played earlier in the season. It was like the battle of the goalies. That's what everybody's saying for this series as well, that there's going to be like maybe 1 goal scored a game. And that if you're betting, you should take the unders and stuff like that, which is pretty wild.
It's such an interesting perspective of a goalie battle because somebody's got to be taking shots on offense, and I don't think both these goalies are going to have 50 save games. These teams are so I don't know. Somebody's going to have to offensively turn it up.
I think that's one of the key points that we're going to go over for what do the Lightning need to do to win. So during the season, his save percentage over the course of the year was
Igor Shesterkin's who we're talking about.
.935 with a goals allowed average a game of 2.07. Those
Which is
are ridiculous stats.
Ridiculous.
Next, we have Chris Kreider. He plays left wing. He scored 77 points on the year, 11 in the playoffs, and what to note for, he's great on the penalty kill. So you'll see him out there doing his thing on the penalty kill, and he loves to get shorthanded goals. So we have to look out for the shorties.
I think I scored a shorthanded goal last night on NHL with him.
That's a fact.
Against
You did?
the Lightning.
You did do that.
I did.
We did this game last night on NHL. It was pretty lit.
Yeah, I lost every time, though, so it didn't matter which team. So the verdict is not that one team's better on NHL. It's that he's better at NHL. But it
is what it is. Coming up next, we have Artemi Panarin. In my opinion, Panarin is like their Kucherov. He's like a passing specialist, loves to have the puck.
Except not as good.
He's pretty good. He had 96 points on the year, and 74 of those were assists.
That's pretty. That's pretty.
He's
good.
an assist machine. He finds people open and passes it to him just like Cooch. It's pretty incredible.
There's a war going on downstairs.
The dogs are gonna kill each other.
The dogs, in case. Wait, listen,
we're not Michael Vick.
I was gonna say.
That was incredible.
We love animals, guys. My dogs, they're just playing. All right, please like and subscribe. Don't talk about Michael Vick.
Then they have
Mike. We love you, boy.
Then they have Mika Zibanejad. You know what I respect about Michael Vick? He did his time. he went to prison. He did his time, and then he changed. He's like not a scumbag anymore. I like that.
Unlike some other dudes.
I don't like that he did the thing with the dogs. I mean, they were his dogs.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about something else.
They were his dogs.
Do what you want with your own dogs. No, you're
terrible.
right.
But he did his time. And
look.
Yeah.
And then we have Adam Fox, who's a defensive player. He's apparently, in his opinion, and apparently statistically, pretty similar to Hedman.
He's their Victor Hedman. He, in like a top 5 NHL defenseman, you'll see both Victor Hedman and Adam Fox on those lists.
Yeah, Hedman's such a way cooler name. I mean,
Hedman's way bigger.
Yeah, and you know what?
The cooler name doesn't really do anything for how you play, but I respect that.
Here's the deal, though. Victor Hedman is the best defenseman in the league, and he's also a very good scoring defenseman. And so we'll see how these two match up if they actually cancel each other out, which they will maybe on the defensive end.
I would say, like, what's
Hedman's
that guy
nasty,
not the Rockies, the Avalanche? What's his name? Makar?
Oh yeah,
Cole but they gave up like 6 goals the other day, so maybe he's not great.
I gotta be honest with you, the Oilers Avalanche game was just awful,
pretty crazy.
Like, how do you get 14 goals scored in a playoff game? Anyway, it's the battle. See that Colorado and Edmonton are having a battle of who has the worst goalie, and then we're about to go into the series of who has the best goalie.
That's it. Offense, defense series. Let's
right.
go. So yes, the Rangers do have Igor Shesterkin, but the Bolts, they scored 23 goals on what's his name, Campbell Soup for the Maple Leafs, and they scored 13 goals on Bobrovsky in 4 games.
Yeah.
So I think they've kind of figured it out. Both of those, Bobrovsky's like a good goalie. That was the goalie that shut out the Lightning in 2019 when they lost in the first round.
Yeah.
So and Soup's pretty good. So they've been up against good people. I'm sorry that the Rangers haven't, and hopefully they learn a lesson tonight. So Kucherov, this is a cool stat. Kuch has 62 assists over the past 3 postseason. That's more assists than anybody has points during the postseason at the same period of time. Pretty wild.
He's a legend, man.
So I think here's going to be the couple of difference makers for the series. Like we talked about before, in the playoffs, star players, they cancel each other out. It comes down to what are those 3rd, 4th line guys going to do, the scrappers on the team.
Exactly.
And I think that the key guys in this series, because they've been in the last series, in the series before, even though it didn't necessarily reflect on the stat sheet. Killorn in the playoffs has 0 goals and 4 assists, but he's played incredible.
Yeah.
And he's been grinding. He's always there. Same thing with Hagel, Nick Paul, Corey Perry.
Hagel and Paul. Perry surprised me. So Hagel and Paul have been actually offensively really valuable. Obviously, Nick Paul pretty much single-handedly won us the series against Toronto there at the end. And then Hagel had quite a few goals in these two series. But I actually think Palat's going to be important. I think he continues to
like
scale
Mr.
it up.
Playoff.
He is. He's Mr. Stanley Cup. I mean, he's going to make a big impact, I think, offensively. And then, like I said, I mean, Victor Hedman, a lot of assists coming from him, key assists coming from him. And then
that was the thing that I think is going to be the key for the Lightning overall, is that on defense, they can't have turnovers defensively. They can't make the stupid mistakes that they've made sometimes during the past couple of series. And then on offense, they have to get involved.
They have to.
They have to take shots which lead to assists, like you're saying. So
especially on the power play.
On the power play,
especially on the power
get
play.
shots. Like you said, it's tough to have a 50-save game every night. If you get shots on Igor coming from multiple directions, now you're giving yourself a better chance as opposed to the same shots coming. So shots on goal by the D, no turnovers.
I do hope that that tonight that Coop is getting them prepared to not factor in the fact that it's Shesterkin, because I feel like if they on the power play, if they're thinking, well, this is a really good goalie, they're going to be looking for that perfect shot. And a lot of the times the shots that fall against great goalies are very happenstantial.
They squeak
they're
through,
very squeaky.
weird.
Yeah. So you want to get shots on goal. You don't want to just look for that perfect opportunity, especially on the power play. And then make sure that you're not giving up a lot of stupid penalties. I mean, I think against Toronto we had like 3 too many men on the ice penalties in the series, and like those types of penalties are dangerous, especially against a team that's going to capitalize on them. And the Rangers are a pretty well balanced team, so they're not explosive offensively, but the Panthers are, and we can handle that. This is the first team I think that that we've played that has a goalie of this caliber. So we have to offensively be prepared to spend a little bit more time on attack, which means we're going to have to cut off some passing lanes and actually bring the puck into their zone a little bit more.
I'm concerned about the forechecking during that from blue to blue. What's the forechecking going to be like?
Yeah.
And the last thing that I wanted to mention before we get out of here is, the Lightning, they swept the Panthers last round. The Rangers won 7 games. Yeah. So the Rangers have been playing. Is it a benefit or to their detriment that they've been playing and are in a groove, or are they tired? And then on the Lightning side of things, they had people hurt. They're getting back healthy. They had time to rest. But what we saw all season was that whenever they had any gap of time between games like that, they came out very slow, sloppy, and bad.
I think there's two sides, right? I think New York just came kind of in a comeback fashion to move on in the playoffs.
They won 2 straight, right?
They won 2 straight, and I think they're hurting. I think they physically took a lot to get that series the way it is, to win that series. And then I also think that they have momentum, and so there's both those factors. They've been playing, but they've been getting beat up a lot. But then now they have a lot of momentum. They just came off this kind of comeback victory type thing, and the Lightning have been resting. So tonight, key factor we're going to know within the first few minutes of the game is, are the Lightning going to come out hungry to start this series, or are they going to come off slow like they did against Toronto?
What's your prediction for the series?
So for me, I think Lightning have it in 6 games. The 6th game is going to be, I think it'll be away. No, it'll be home. It'll be a home game.
Game 6 is home.
So 6 will be at home. I think we'll get the series in 6. I think it's a safe prediction to say there's going to be a lot of low scoring, but I think historically this is going to be one of the lowest scoring playoff series we've ever seen. Both these goalies are hungry. I think we're gonna have a couple shutouts with them, and I think we may get shut out tonight if we're not careful coming into this playoff series against the Rangers. But I'm excited to see where we go. So for me, it's Lightning in 6 games. I don't see a Game 7 for this or for the Stanley Cup. I think we can keep it to 6, and I think there's going to be I don't think it's going to be as physical kind of a.
You're already looking the next week. I'm concerned about tonight.
Oh,
wild.
Yeah. Tonight, I think I want us to come out sharp and win like 2-1, have a 1-goal advantage, play the way we do, but I think we're going to lose this first one.
I'm not even going to say anything else. Thank you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing, clicking that bell. We'll find out here shortly, and we'll talk about it here with you guys soon. I think I'll let you know what I think prediction-wise for the series after the first period.
Yeah, he's got to see the first game. I don't need to see the first game. I think tonight we're going to come out a little slow, but I think after this one we're going to absolutely pick it up a notch and take the Rangers home in 6.
There you go.
You know you can look me in the eye. It's all because of Jesus, he the reason I'm alive. I live by faith, by grace, you know that I ain't gotta strive. They told me, tone it down.